Welcome to Sacred Magic. Violet is on a quest to bring sacredness back into our everyday experiences. Anyone can have an extraordinary life when they are able to tap into their sacred magic within. Violet and her guests will be sharing their divine passions, inspirations, and stories of connecting with their sacred magic. We are so happy you have joined us today. Let's get started with your host, the magical creator of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Violet Rayne.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Vialet Rayne, and my guest today is Teresa McBee. She lives in rural West Virginia, and she's been working with different healing modalities since the early 1980s, currently focusing on intuitive oracle card readings, energy and light body work, and creating custom essential oils using high quality, ethically sourced essential oils. She is a certified healing practitioner in whale and dolphin energy light medicine and a certified practitioner in the universal spheres healing modality, as well as an intuitive facilitator. So welcome to the show, Teresa. We're so glad to have you here.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, you do some things that I've never heard of, so I'm excited to get to chat with you. First of all, I want to talk about your whale and dolphin energy light medicine. You know, how that showed up for you, how you utilize it, and how's it different from other healing modalities?
It showed up for me with a teacher that I started working with in 2011, 2012. Her name is Rayne, and she is an animal communicator. She is an intuitive. She does a lot of channeling, and she is very active in the spiritual community. I stumbled onto her listening to a radio show with McLean Masterworks, and I was able to listen to several of her broadcasts that she did with Jennifer McLean, and that is how I discovered her. And then I started working with her, having some individual coaching sessions to work on developing my skills and my gifts. And at the same time, she was developing this program of working with the great whales and dolphin spirits. And it turned into a whole program of healing and DNA recalibration, and she offers a class now. I was in her second class, and I think the one that is starting this spring, or has just started this spring, is maybe her fifth class.
Mm-hmm.
We work with the energy of the great whales and dolphins and call in their energy to help remove blocks, do healings. They can affect so much in our bodies and our lives overall.
So what have you learned from the whales and dolphins? Because I imagine their energies are different than like bear or buffalo or hawks or birds. You know, working with spirit animals myself, I know all those energies are different. So those people listening that may have not ever worked with a spirit animal, what do the whales bring in? Like, what do they share with you? What type of energy are the whales? And then about the dolphins.
The whales are a very ancient energy. It's a very deep, soothing, relaxing energy that is unlike any other energy that I have worked with.
Mhm.
When I do a meditation with the whales or a healing session with the whales, it knocks me out. I'm gone. I just am gone. Um, I come back and I remember bits and pieces, but for the most part, I don't know. I couldn't tell you where I was, what I was doing. Nope. Um, the energy of the dolphins is much lighter and more playful. They work more with our DNA. And the more you look into dolphin energy, the more you're going to read about how the dolphins and the whales both are so much like mammals, are like us humans. More whales have more DNA in common with us than or characteristics. DNA might not be the correct term, but have more characteristics like ours than any other pairing. Um, the dolphins are also very similar to us. They're mammals, and they but they're very playful and they're kind of mischievous. And their basic message is that we're here to have fun, and we're making it too hard. And um, we've got this beautiful planet and all these resources to take advantage of. So they encourage us constantly to keep our hearts in everything and to enjoy what's going on around us and not make it so hard.
I love that. Sounds very similar to fairy energy, which they tell us the same thing. We take life way too seriously. You
Yeah,
came here to play and have fun. What are you doing, right? Why are
yeah,
you getting stuck in all the muck, right? And
right.
making it so hard and difficult.
It
There's
is very similar.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
It sounds very similar. Have you ever had an opportunity to connect or see the whales or dolphins? Have you ever had that opportunity where you could connect?
I have been able to. I went on a retreat with Laurie Rayon um, in 2017. We went to Bimini and had a week-long stay where we were able to go out on a boat and swim with the wild dolphins um, every day. And there are lots of regulations around interacting with whales and dolphins, as there needs to be because, humans. But that's one of the places where you can interact with them to a degree. They're wild dolphins, they're not in captivity. And we went out on a boat to a place where the dolphins tend to congregate and were able to go in the water. We couldn't touch them, but they got real close. And it was just lots of fun, the playfulness that you see with them, how they play with each other, and they would interact with us to a degree. That was super fun. I haven't been able to go on any trips where I can interact with the whales, although, again, Laurie does she is planning a trip to Polynesia, to Moria, and that is a place where I think it's humpback whales mostly, um, but you're able to get in the water and swim with the humpback whales, and I can only imagine because of the huge size of them how fantastic that must be to be able to do that. She's also done, and I've seen videos of trips that she's taken to Baja, just below Southern California, and the gray whales come in there and breed and give birth to their babies. And she's been down there and been able to interact with that. That's all available to, when she has those trips available, that's available to anybody. Um, I haven't been able to take advantage of it. I'm on the other side of the country, so it's a little more involved for me to get there. Um, I was able to go to Hawaii several years ago, though, and go out on a whale watch boat and see the whales in the distance. So that's as close as I've gotten, but I'm really looking forward to the opportunity.
That would be really cool. I have for years because the whales move. They move from the northern to the southern and back. They have this pathway that they go every year. And
Right?
I've always wanted to go just to be in a boat to watch them move through the water, right? And I get really pulled into videos of whales and dolphins. And for those listening, you can actually go out and get music and CDs of, their communication, whales and dolphins. And it's really amazing. And the whales bring me back to the new movie Avatar that's out, the water element, right? Because
Yeah.
that's in that movie where you can really connect to the whales and the dolphins. You can see I'm kind of drawn to whales and dolphins, so I notice things. And it's like, oh, those are the whales, right?
Yeah.
Those are those big, beautiful creatures in the water, right? That bring in. So I can only imagine what the healing energy is like to be able to work with the whales and dolphins. And those that watch and know me, I'm very connected to water. I definitely carry a lot of water, and that's not in my astrology chart, but it is who I am. I love water. So anything connected to the ocean and water, I'm very drawn to naturally. So I think that's really cool. So, those watching, Teresa, what have been some of the things that you've observed in this healing modality? And you don't have to give names, but situations that have been cleared or healed or released that you've been able to utilize this healing modality for?
I have worked with people who have had various degrees of trauma. I mean, we all carry trauma from this lifetime or past lifetimes, generational stuff. Um, but but things that were um, affecting their sleep patterns, certainly, their ability to um, complete tasks, to um, follow, their thoughts were scattered and they had trouble just focusing, and everything seemed like such a burden, so much work, like they were trying to travel through mud. Um, and by combining some work with the dolphins and some work with the whales, um, and I'm glad you mentioned the whale sounds too, because I constantly am telling people they should be, even if they just listen to YouTube, there are some amazing whale sound recordings and music built around the whale sounds that you can listen to as you're falling asleep at night. If you have small children that are taking naps or trying not to take naps, you can play whale sounds for the children. It helps with soothing and calming. Um, and I think when we're asleep, then if we give their permission, we give them our permission. They can come in and do all kinds of healing work that we probably don't even know that we need. But we certainly benefit. The When you do a session of healing with the whales and with the dolphins, you may not be aware of anything in particular specific happening immediately, but you'll feel the effects later on. Um, I've told people the worst that can happen is you get a really nice nap with the whales, because you lay down, you cover your eyes. Um, there's a whole process with using crystals on different parts of their bodies, of the clients' bodies, and then doing guided meditations, letting the whales come in, playing soothing music. It's like a spa experience. Um, and it's so resting and relaxing. So if that's the only thing that happens, it's still a win. Um, the dolphins are a little more specific because they work with our DNA, they work with our chakras, so they prefer that we're sitting up rather than laying down. Um, so that can be a challenge sometimes if you happen to nod off while you're sitting up. Um, but that too, it's not anything that you would necessarily notice immediately, but it does as time goes on and you continue your association with the whales and the dolphins. It does definitely make you help you to feel um, calmer and more in control, less defended, because we get to a point where we realize that all that craziness that's going out there, doesn't have to impact our lives. We're going to know about it. We're going to hear about it. But we can stay in our own little bubble, in our own hearts, and just observe and send love and not let it occupy our every waking moment.
I love that because you've given everyone a tool. Just go out and listen to the whale music. Just create that space for that so that they can come in. Give them permission to come in and work with you. And I love
Hmm.
that. That doesn't take any effort except a little bit to do that and have that healing. And we know no matter what healing modality that we do, sometimes we believe that nothing has happened. And honestly, I don't believe that. I believe on some level you've let go of stuff and you may just not recognize it immediately. You may not know, but I feel like we're onions and we peel back layers at a time. And sometimes we need a big layer peeled back, and sometimes we need a little layer peeled back. And you may not notice that something shifted, but that's the next step for you to create that space to do that. So I always trust. And so I know as a healer myself, what I've learned about me is I think, oh, I haven't done a whole lot here with this client. And they go home and they're like, I was in bed for a day and a half. What did you do to me? I'm like, I cleared some stuff. I cleaned out the pipes, right?
Right.
So there's a lot more happening than we ever realize with what we're working with and what we're doing. And we all need it. We need it from ancestral to family issues to past lives to this lifetime. Believe you me, we're carrying a lot of baggage. All of us are. And we couldn't clear everything in a lifetime if we tried. So just keep working it because I think that's what we're here to do. So Teresa, talk to me a little bit about universal spheres. What is that? Because that's a term I haven't heard either. What is that?
Universal spheres is working with quantum energy, tapping into the quantum field where there is solution energy and infinite possibilities available to all of us. It's one of those modalities that, like, if I had a printout, I could read it to you, but to just explain it, like, I get it, but it's hard for me to explain what's going on. Um, but it's tapping into the universal, the quantum field, and accessing that universal energy that surrounds us all. We're all surrounded by solution energy all the time. We've been conditioned to expect things to look a certain way and situations to work out a certain way. And so, for example, when you're driving to an appointment and you're maybe a little bit late because maybe sometimes you always overestimate how long it's going to take you or underestimate how long it's going to take you to get ready to get there. So you're in traffic and you're trying to get where you're going, and all of this stuff is going on. Rather than freaking out and being anxious because, oh my God, I'm going to be late, I'm going to miss, I'm going to whatever. Um, if you can, like, center yourself and visualize, it's a helpful visualization tool as well. Like, it works with visualization. Um, Visualize that you are in the middle of this beautiful sphere and you are surrounded by solution energy, and you ask that things fall into line and that you are able to get to your appointment safely and on time in whatever way is best for your highest and best good, and then let it go. I was um, a couple of years ago, maybe last year, there was an issue here in my local area with a gasoline shortage. It was very short-lived, but it had to do with the supply chain, and something got broken down somewhere along the way. And so it might have been more hype than was actual, I'm not sure. But anyway, people in the area kind of panicked for a moment, and all of the gas stations people were lining up to get gas. And I was on my way to an event where I was volunteering, and I had thought beforehand that I'd stop on the way and get gas. I hadn't gone out earlier that day. I thought I'd stop on the way. And because it didn't occur to me that this was going on in the outside world, because I don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff. So I'm driving over, and as I'm driving over, headed for the gas station, I thought, oh no, I just remembered there's this thing going on. And where I live is there are 3 states that are really close together. So, like, people were coming from Maryland into West Virginia to get gas, and people were driving from Pennsylvania or from Virginia so I got over towards the gas station. And when I thought about it, I thought, oh, okay, now I can do a sphere. So I centered myself while I was driving. I just centered myself and visualized that. I said, there's going to be a gas pump. I'm going to be able to drive in. I'm going to be able to get the gas pump. I'll fill up my tank. It's all going to go smoothly, ease and grace, in and out, my highest and best good. It's all going to be wonderful. And I filled it up with energy from my heart, love from my heart. And I said, okay, I'm letting it go. And I let it go. And I got over to the gas station. Honest to goodness, I pulled in. There was one pump there. All the pumps were full, but I pulled in behind a vehicle. He was just finishing up. He finished up. He pulled out. I pulled in, filled up my tank. As I was leaving, I looked back, and there were like 3 cars deep on all the pumps. And I said, thank you very much. And drove out and got to my place on time. So that's an example of universal spheres. It's amazing because once you start dealing with it, you can use it for anything, like gas, finding a parking place. If you have something going on, anything. I have a group that I belong to that I work with every week, and we get together through Zoom, and I just have to say, God bless Zoom. Where we do group universal sphere sessions, and we call in energy for like friends and family, people who are going through medical issues, people who are having family conflicts, stuff that goes wrong with somebody's house. Anything you can think of. It's just amazing. Because you can use the universal sphere energy, that quantum energy of solution energy. If there's a problem, there's a solution. If we can let go of what that is supposed to look like, it's amazing what appears for us.
So quantum energy is really powerful. It almost reminds you of the Matrix, because you believe
yes.
that something looks like this, or that it is this. You create that reality within yourself based on those thoughts. We don't understand that our mind and our brain is super powerful. And if we can align emotionally and mentally, it's what I tell people. If you can get them both aligned, you can create whatever you want. You can use this energy. Like for me, let's say I have a class planned and blah, 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 and I want 12 students. I can sit and work with the same energy and say, with grace and ease, the perfect combination of 12 students. I want this class. I imagine this class sold out, everything working out beautifully. And you can use it for your business, for locating a job, for anything, because we're creators. That's my title, magical creator. But
Right.
also know I'm a magical destroyer, because if I get caught in that negative loop of everything's wrong, the world is terrible, COVID is killing everyone, then I can destroy as well as I can create, because
Right.
I'm emotionally and mentally aligned with those thoughts. So
Right.
the quantum field, to play in the quantum field, everything starts with the thought. And when you create the thought and then you connect emotionally, you can create in your life whatever you want. You can
Right.
be whatever you want. So I love that. I love using it for gas. Here's another tool, guys, that you can play with on your own and say, okay, my husband always tells me I'm the best parking place because the angels always help me. We always get good spaces. He goes, when you're with me, I get to park way up front. Or, I move through the line at the grocery. He'll ask me when we're ready to check out which line. And if I don't answer and let him kind of pick, we usually end up standing there for a long period of time. he says, it's the universe. He can't pick the right lines. He can't get the front parking spot. But I can because I work with these energies. You know, even the other day, I was running late, like Teresa talked about, and I was like, okay, angels, I need this light to be green. When I get there, I need it to be green. I need it to change really quickly. And honestly, the light didn't turn green and it didn't change very quickly. But you know what? I still held a space of gratitude that the light changed because it could have fouled and I could have been stuck there for hours.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
even though it didn't change on my timing that I wanted, I still said, thank you, angels, for making these lights work for me. Thank you for getting me there safely. I know you're there for my highest and best good, and I trust in that energy. And some people would have been like, well, it didn't change. You should be angry. And I'm like, no, no. They've done so much for me in my lifetime. There's no way I'm going to be angry. When I ask for help, I know they're looking out for my highest and best good. And if I'm running late, I may be avoiding something that I can't see in my future,
Exactly.
right? That could
Exactly.
happen, that might happen. You just don't know. And I always tell people, always gratitude. What are you grateful for? What
Right.
blessings do you want to hold on to? Because those are really important.
Right. Right.
Teresa, if somebody wanted to work with you, if they wanted to experience any of these things or contact you to find out more, talk to us a little bit about what you offer. And know that we'll have the website at the bottom of the video throughout so that people can connect to you as well. But share with us a little bit about what you offer and that your services.
I I do have my website. I try to post monthly. I do an oracle card um, spread for the month and get that posted on my website. I also have a list of services that I offer and a description of what they entail. I am on Facebook and Instagram as my spirit name, my spiritual name, which is Tamara Light, and I do a card every day, Monday through Friday, and post it on my Instagram page and my Facebook page. I will tell you there are times that I pull the card and I read it and I think, oh, this is for everybody else. This isn't for me. And by the end of the day, I realize, yeah, it was for me too. So it's crazy the information that comes out. I love doing it. I also have been working with essential oils over the last few years and have started doing making blends of oils for people that I like go into my heart. I set up sacred space. I um, try and communicate with their higher self, and then use the essential oils to put together a blend. And there have been times that I have put oils together, and then I write up a description of the oils and what their properties are and how they might be able to help. There are times that I put oils together that I think this cannot be good. I can't believe they're this. Really, are you sure? And times that I've gotten the blend put together and I've smelled it and I've thought, boy, I wouldn't wear this. But the people that they're intended for have responded in a much different way. They love it, they wear it, they feel differently when they're wearing it. Other people comment on what a great scent it is. And so that's fun. And I like playing with smelly stuff, it's good, it's fun. I also, what else? I do some live events. Of course, over the last couple of years, there haven't been that many. But locally, there are some events some metaphysical festivals, spirit festivals, fairy festivals, things like that. And I have participated in those, just having a table where I'm available to do oracle card readings. I can do some universal sphere sessions as well. And it's working with the whales and the dolphins, as well as the universal spheres, is so powerful, because I agree, like you said, we're powerful beings of light and we can do anything. We just have to accept that and believe it and behave like we can. But these energies are just as effective working with them at a distance. So doing it virtually through Zoom is just as effective as being in the same room. And that's been a lifesaver in a lot of ways for a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. And yeah, I am happy to provide information about like where I learned the whale and dolphin work, where I learned the universal spheres work. I didn't write down those emails or those websites. I should have done that. I apologize. But if anybody's interested in that information, I'd be happy to hook you up with the people that I studied with and shared that information with me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today to join us. I so appreciate you taking the time this morning to be on the show and to be able to connect with you. If you're ever in Denver, check us out. We would love to meet you in person. I know you're in
Thanks.
West Virginia, but like you said, we can do lots of things online and through lots of technology that allows us to do that. But thanks for sharing your experiences and your perspective and your insights. I think that's really powerful for those listening. And thank you, listeners, for listening to our show today. I hope that you will subscribe to our channels and follow us. We love being able to provide different perspectives and insights on different information. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a magical day.
Are you seeking an online spiritual education resource? Do you crave to know more about various topics of spirituality? Discover Your Spiritual Gifts Academy offers a wide variety of programs including Crystal Alchemy, Tarot, The Journey of the Fool, Akashic Record Reading Certification, and much more. These online courses allow you to learn on your schedule and at your own pace. You can find out more at www.discoveryourspiritualgifts.academy. Thank you for joining us. To find out more about Vialet, head over to discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. You can also send a personal message to Vialet through email, violet@discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. If you love the show, subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Until next time, remember, we are meant to have abundant and joyful lives. We hope to see you soon at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts.